Hello and good afternoon. This is Lisa Bien, TV host of Your Best Life with Lisa. I have taken my show to a whole new place, the dining room at my home during COVID-19, and I am so excited today that I have Nicolette Brycki. We all know her as Nicolette B. She is a lifestyle and beauty TV expert, guru, all things, and I'm just so excited that I have her, and I'm hoping that maybe she'll share some tips with all of us today about beauty and whatever else. But I heard her story the other day and I said, Nicolette, you need to share your story. So here she is today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to meet with me and share your story.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm so excited. This is gonna be fun. I love it already.
So you're gorgeous. Your beautiful smile is actually what attracted me to you. I did
Oh,
see you on PHL 17, which is great because we're both contributors there, and
yeah.
we've been on there a few times. And then we started just talking and exchanging on social media, which is a great way to use social media to get out and meet new people. And then you and I started having more conversations, private. And the conversation that took me by surprise was that you didn't think you were pretty when you were little. Tell me that story.
Yeah. Well, I think anyone has bumps in their life where they experience lows, like low self-confidence and when you're growing up and when you're in that awkward phase, yeah, I mean, some kids don't really look their best, and that was me. So I was like one of like the weirdish looking girls, and I don't know. I mean, like my teeth were a little bit too big, and like I was like really like little and skinny, and so I was just kind of like still kind of coming together, and I wasn't like all quite there. So um, my mom always told me I was gorgeous, as all moms do, but no, it was like a little bit awkward, and not like I didn't think of myself like that I was like one of the pretty girls in school.
Yeah, well, I never thought I was a pretty girl either. Why is that? Why do we put so much pressure on ourselves to be the pretty girl? Like, I really hope and pray that there's a day that comes that we don't worry about that and we just be us and true to us. I mean, do you think that's an irrational thought that would ever really happen?
Well, I think that we can't focus entirely on looks. I mean, I certainly do think looks are important, and that can go from your makeup to your hair to your wardrobe to your diet, to wellness. Because I think that does, project self confidence and just like an overall way of the way that you treat yourself and carry yourself. And I do think it's good to be, um, just well groomed, even to serve as role models for others, like for your children. I know with my daughter, she's 3 and she's already like wanting to dress up and look pretty. And I think a lot of that comes from the way that I dress and the way that I try to make myself look nice. But going back to your question, I certainly don't think that that is everything. And that was something else that I was raised with is, you need to have substance. Like there needs to be more than just a pretty face. And it's important as parents to instill that in our kids that there's nothing wrong with trying to look pretty and to try to live a really healthy and like nice life, but there needs to be something within too, because what is in you is most important, and that does come out in your everyday, the way that you look, the way that you smile, the way that you interact with others.
You know what, you're absolutely right. I think, I always say sometimes you can see the most beautiful woman from the outside, but she doesn't look pretty. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
day I really truly believe that beauty does begin from what's in your heart and the type of
Yeah.
person and the
Well,
person.
just it comes out in your smile, it comes out in your eyes, it comes out in the way that you talk to others. And yes, at the end of the day, that is what is most beautiful.
But I think you also hit, it's interesting. You said something very interesting. You said, well, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look our best. There's nothing wrong with wanting to take care of ourselves. And it's so interesting to me because I think a lot of times that we live in a society where it's like, if you're one way or you're the other way, you're either the girl who takes care
Right.
of herself or you're the, I'm the girl that just grew up in Northeast Philly. If I'm not doing this or if I'm not speaking, my hair is up in a ponytail most of the time and my face is washed because
Right, I
that's how
know.
I'm most comfortable, right? But I'm sure my viewers would not want to see me like that all the time, right? But I think it's interesting is like I just wish we could all just accept each other for who we are. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with being who you want to be. Nicolette chooses to be into fashion and be into lifestyle, and that's awesome. Good for you. But that wasn't always who you were, correct?
Well, I mean, I always liked it. I always liked to look good, and I liked clothes and dressing up and jewelry and makeup and everything. Um, what I do have to say is now I find that it's in style to be different. It's in style to wear lashes. It's in style to maybe color your hair a different color. But there was a time where like style was very cookie cutter. It was very much like you had to wear the style jeans and you had to have like blonde highlights and you had to not wear a lot of makeup. Like, so I think that we've loosened, like kind of fashion and beauty restrictions, and people have become more accepting of that. But that being said, I still find that people are very judgmental. And I know, you and I were just talking before we got on the Zoom about how, in the workplace, like I felt like I was being bullied about my appearance. So, it definitely does exist. It would be nice if people could accept each other, whether they're, big, small, large, in the middle somewhere. And just know that, yeah, like we're all struggling with something. I mean, I know it sounds very cliche, but it's true. And no one should be, bullied or targeted, whether, they're maybe looking their best and they're a little bit more stylish or like fashion forward, or they're not.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. It's like there's so much going on, and you're right. It wouldn't it be a perfect world? And it's interesting because you're right. The styles of yesterday, like when I was growing up, which was the 80s, you had a certain look, you had, and I never had that hair that everybody wanted growing up, right? So my hair has become really important to me now.
I love your hair.
Thank you, but
It's the best.
I remember growing up and not having, like you said, like not having the pretty Farrah Fawcett hair, because I'm really dating myself here, but Farrah Fawcett and the Charlie's Angels, everybody wanted to be that way. But I think a lot of it comes from personal growth. When we realize that we don't need to fit in, we don't need to fit in anyone's box, but our own. So I think it's great that fashion has changed so much that we have the opportunity now to like play around with different fashions. So I guess what I would love some help with, if you want to do so, maybe have some fun, is like maybe offer some fashion tips that you see now. Listen, we're living in the world of COVID-19 right now, right? And
Yeah.
you are a lifestyle person. Don't tell me to wear sweatpants, but I feel like,
Please, I wear sweatpants. I'm proud to admit it, but like when I leave the house, I do try to look my best. Even if it's with a pair of sweatpants, I'm like, let me like throw on some lipstick, like maybe some earrings, nice little mask.
my aunt used to tell me, God rest her soul, I love her so much. My aunt used to say to me, never leave the house without looking your best. And then I had a girlfriend who also believes that too. I'm going to admit there's days that I don't,
Worse.
that doesn't matter to me, but it's spring, right? So let's put COVID-19, behind us, and it's spring. What's the hottest fashion trends right now for spring?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, if we're talking athleisure, which like everybody's into athleisure now, I mean,
What's
including
it
me, it's
called?
all well, it's like athleisure. It's like, Lululemon and Athleta. Like we're all into like leggings and like so, what I think is like a super cute look, and I'm just starting to incorporate this into my own closet. It took me a while to like to like the high waisted like stretch pant look. You know what I mean? Because it was, I'm kind of like, can I pull that off? Do I like that? But I think it's super cute with like a crop top or like a crop sweatshirt. So I'm actually incorporating some of that into my own closet. And I'm thinking, like, from what I'm seeing, that is definitely trending now. And if you can pull it off and like look cute with it, you can totally be comfortable. and look really cute and like head out, you know, to wherever you're going to go. But, you know, in terms of fashion, like I gotta tell you, I was never somebody to look at trends and be like, okay, so now I'm going to wear that. Like when like cold shoulder was all the rage, I didn't do a cold shoulder because I just didn't like a cold shoulder. And I mean,
Wait,
I still really
when
don't.
you say I love you because you got to understand you're dealing with somebody who like hates to shop, right? So that's a bad like this.
Oh, got it. Okay.
This is a great conversation for us to have because I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but I'm one of those that doesn't even like when you just said cold shoulder. I was like, wait, is she talking about when the shoulders were cut out? Is that what you were talking
Yes.
about? That
Yes.
look, that look was so, oh my God, it was everywhere. And it's interesting because I was like, I don't like that look and I'm not wearing that look. And everybody
Yeah,
kept
I know.
right? I'm glad
Yeah.
you say that because I also think that there's a lot of like copying that happens. Like a woman sees this, a one look and so that she's like, well, that's really in, so I'm going to wear that, right?
Yeah. Right. No, I agree with you. And you know, there's nothing wrong to take inspiration from what you're seeing on social media or like in stores or online, but it does need to work for you. And everything that I know about style and looking good, I have to credit my mom with because like she honestly taught me everything. She is the original beauty, fashion, lifestyle, food expert. I'm telling you, this woman like knew what to do before there was any kind of Google or any kind of internet. And what she always told me was, you know, is like, you know, sure, like you can look at the trends and, you know, this is the style, but like she ultimately was the fashion Bible. And, you know, I would always run things by her, like, Mom, does this look good? And I still do. And, you know, if she were here with me right now, she would probably be telling you the same thing, which is, you know, what works for you with where you are in your life. So like the high-waisted legging and the crop sweatshirt, maybe that's not for you, or maybe it's not for her or somebody else. It's working for me right now. But when I think back to maybe when I was in my early 20s and like some of the things I was wearing, I'm like, you know what, it just doesn't work for me right now. So I think you have to take into account where you are in your life, like, you know, the kind of look that you have, what you're going for, and, you know, the kind of look that you want to like express to everyone else.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? My look right now is leggings, and that's all
Yeah.
I'm wearing like every single day. I have these leggings that have like Buddhas on them. I'm really into Buddhism, so and
Oh.
that's all I've been wearing. But I'm afraid to try to put on jeans just because you know the COVID-9 or the COVID-10 pounds on my belly. You know, I was doing so good in the beginning, but are there any colors that? How do you figure out color? That's like my biggest thing. How do you figure out the color? Like you're sitting there right now in yellow and you look absolutely beautiful. It seems to go with your skin tone. How do
Yeah.
you how do you pick out the best colors for you?
So, you know, this, I think my background as a makeup artist, and actually prior to that, a fine artist, because when I was in school, when I was younger, in high school and college, I was painting and drawing, and I received awards, and like I easily could have gone to art
So
school, but
you're an artist at heart.
I am. Mm-hmm.
Great to
Yep.
know. That's interesting. So
Yep.
so you took your passion for art and just applied it to your life with being a beauty and lifestyle expert.
Well, I think that when you have, I think when you are a creative person and, you know, in my case, like I've always just been very good at like, you know, just art, you know, fine art that can manifest into other areas of life. So, you know, somebody who is, you know, good at art could apply that creativity and that talent, you know, towards fashion, towards makeup, you know, towards just like knowing how to build a look. And so I think it just comes from a very natural place for me. Um, Going back to your question, like, you know, how do you choose color? Ultimately, it comes down to, and I'm being put on the spot here, but I want to come
I'm
up with like a,
sorry. I know this
no,
is definitely not a question
no,
that
no,
I
no, no. Oh no, it's fine. You know, I don't want to say, oh, you know, just wear what you feel great in because I mean, no, duh. Like, I mean, of course.
no duh. Yeah.
I mean, of course. But I want to like give you a little bit of like more of a scientific formula to work with. If you're cooler toned in skin, which means um, think like cooler colors like blues and greens and purples, like, you know, just real cool versus warm like golds and certain kind of like warm oranges and reds and yellows and browns. You know, if you look at color that way and you look at your skin tone and your hair, you can then determine what colors look better on you. So for me, I tend to be more neutral cool. And I know that, bright yellows and blues and greens all look really good on me. But somebody who could maybe be like a little bit warmer in tone, and sometimes you just need to look at your skin sometimes and put colors up to your face and see like what looks good with your hair and your skin. They might look good in some warmer tones. Now, I was complimenting you on your hair earlier because I love red hair. And I used to have red hair. When I was a redhead, I couldn't always wear like the same colors that I do now having brown hair. So I think you just have to keep in mind like your own aesthetic along with your color preference and your and the undertones that you have in your skin.
I think that's great advice. I mean, literally just going to the store with spring here, right? The stores are going to open back up, right? Right now, I promise you they will. Right now it's online shopping here in New Jersey, but eventually they're going to open up and we can go and have some fun with the color and everything. Now, what advice do you have? There's a lot of women, maybe even men, that are staying home and, they want to put a little perk to their face. I think the other night I saw you did something fun. It seems like you're doing a lot of fun things. So we will talk about that after this. It seems like you're doing a lot of fun things. I saw the other night you were doing a facial party or something that looked so fun.
You'll have to come next time.
I would love it.
Awesome.
What was there a specific product that you were talking about, or is there a do it at home kind of facial? You got sugar in the house. I don't know. Can you make your own facial?
Yeah. So in this case, yes, we were all experimenting with these two kinds of facial products that I have and my friends were sent. So I'll have to do something else like that. But I don't know about you or anybody else who is going to watch this, but I have really used this quarantine period to do a lot of like self-reflection and a lot of things that I may have otherwise not really focused on. And I do think that one of those things is self-care. So, if there is, if you do have an opportunity at home to maybe take a bath and just relax that way and sit in some essential oils and moisturize your skin, I think that's just so nice and something that so many of us aren't doing with our typical day-to-day, like rushing around and errands and kids and work. But I also think now is a really important time to do skincare. So whether that is, some exfoliation or like masks that you can do.
It's a great idea.
Just different things that, you can do at home to really work on your skin, because, your skin, it's you can't just let it go and then hope that like at one point it'll, just kind of bounce back to the way it was, especially now that we're wearing all these masks, which really aren't all that great for our skin anyway. So I think it's good to do like some sort of detox type thing at home if you can, with like, a mask or other skincare products.
Well, I thought that was a great idea of taking a bath, because I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember the last time I took a bath. And so what a great idea to take a bath and put some essential oils. I have all my essential oils upstairs.
Do it. Listen, my kids were asleep. I'm like, there's a little bit of wine left in the bottle. I'm taking the wine glass up. I go in the bath. Joe, my husband, he comes upstairs. He's like, what were you doing? I was like, I was in the bath, honey. What were you doing? I was in the bath.
I'm taking a bath. I love that.
Here's my wine glass. Bye.
So you, my superstar friends, have been on QVC, right? You were a regular on QVC for a while, right?
Yeah.
And you were also on Bravo. Like, you have a very impressive TV resume, if you will. What is next? Where are you? Where am I going to see you next? Good Morning America, maybe? The Today Show?
Oh God, I'm very ambitious, and as I know you are, and it's tough, like with kids, like I always incorporate that into anything I seem to do, because like your children really become part of you. So and I don't know, maybe you would agree with me, but prior to having kids, I'm like, I had all this time, like what was I doing with it, and now with kids, I'm like, I have like no time. But anyway, Yeah, I've been on QVC. I've done TV in New York, PHL 17. I was actually a traffic anchor for some time before I had my first daughter, which was super fun and super stressful, I gotta tell you. And I
What
think
was stressful? Wait, having the daughter or doing the traffic or both? Because
traffic anchoring, because I was actually traffic anchoring out in York, Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
at Fox 43. I really didn't know the area. I mean, I'm not from there. I had never done traffic, and I was hired to do fill in traffic, and I had to learn how to give people road reports in an area
and
that I
you
wasn't
don't know the area. I can only imagine, like, you don't know the area. You're like, if you can't say, we have reporters, we have traffic people that do that in our city. They don't know how to say Wissanoming, and they say it like, Wissainoming. I'm like,
right.
you don't know the traffic. Don't say, you don't know the street name. Learn it.
Oh, yeah, and like I would sit there and like study the maps, and I would go on drives. But it's really different when you're sitting in front of computers and you're seeing accidents coming in. Then you have to put them on the map, and then and then I have to make sure that they're in the right place on the map. And I'm like praying to God they're in the right place, and then I have to like go back out, and you're telling traffic like every, I don't know, what was it, like 10 minutes. So
Oh my God,
doing that.
I never knew that traffic, honestly. You just shed a whole new light for me on traffic reporting, because honestly, and this is going to sound terrible, and I apologize to anybody that hears this, I thought traffic was just like, you kind of got a report and you read it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, you know what? That wasn't my experience. I don't know what it's like at other stations or other traffic reporters, but like when I did it, I had a few different screens. I had, different things happening, different accidents that I had to put on the map, and then I had to, run back out, to the stage, if you will, and then tell everybody what's going on. And sometimes when there's nothing going on, that's the worst, because you're just like, now I have to make it seem like there's something going on when there's something going on.
can you imagine what the traffic reporters were like in the beginning of this whole COVID-19? They were probably like, yeah, light traffic. No one's going to work. No one's going anywhere.
Yeah, and sometimes that's actually the hardest thing is when, there's not a whole lot to say. You have to then create something. You have to make it sound exciting. Because as you know with TV is not just about sharing information. It's about how do you share the information? How do you make it exciting? How do you tell the story? How do you get the audience involved and engaged? And it's the same thing with telling, doing traffic. It's how do you make the traffic report interesting?
Well, you have certainly made today very interesting. We have covered a lot. I thought like we were going to spend more time on the beginning of the story, and then we talked about beauty and fashion. Is there one message that you would like to leave behind for women? Because I know that we have talked about, lots of things today. Thank you for the tips on the beauty. I think that that's
Yeah.
going to help. And I think the reminder for the self-care is so very important for everybody. This is what we're entering week 11 of COVID-19. And I think we're going to be in these week counting, so to speak, for quite some time. Is there advice that you would love every woman? Like, is there a piece of advice that you would just like to say to me or to any of your girlfriends or anybody that's watching this, like about beauty and inner beauty and just taking care of yourself? I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe there's a message that you like to use to
Sure.
inspire women.
Well, I think that there are so many things, that you can say to inspire and and just to share your insight and your knowledge. But I think it is a good idea to kind of bring it back to where we started with this interview, which was a lot what you base your brand on and your show on, and that's just motivation and getting people to feel good about themselves, and all of those great things that make us go and inspire us. And one of the reasons that we started talking was because I had a really tough childhood. I was bullied a lot. I was tormented. I was harassed. I was teased. And that can be an interview like for a whole other time. But you know what makes someone most beautiful is really what comes from within, what's on the inside. So I would say that if you can be one of those people that teaches your children not to bully, to be good people, to be kind, to really have those good feelings on the inside, come on out. That is my beauty advice. That's my kind of like, wellness advice for you. Because if you're thinking kind thoughts, if you're doing good things, if you're genuinely a good person, that then comes out on your face. And it just, just, it just makes you look a lot younger and a lot more pleasant and more youthful. So I think just kind of keep that in mind.
Well, that is amazing advice. It's so beautiful. And really, I'm just going to share with everybody that that is how we really connected, because she invited me to join her Facebook group and for beauty tips. And I remember thinking, her smile is just radiant, and your smile is radiant. And I hope that you continue to smile and shed all your beauty and all your just good love and kindness in the world throughout. And I hope to see you all over. And
Oh,
thank you so much for joining us today, because it was just wonderful getting to know you. So thank
yeah,
you.
you too, Lisa. I loved it. I loved it. This was a lot of fun. It was a nice break from my two crying kids and
We'll
doing
go back.
laundry.
I'll let you go back to your two crying kids. Have a great day. Bye, sweetie.